Hello again, Park Center Pirates. It's Mr. Anderson. Today we're getting together to talk about section A.1.6, and we hope by the time we're done today to be able to answer that question, which is greater. The algebra tiles are going to be a helpful tool because comparing in mathematics is one of the biggest challenges we often have. So our purpose today is using those algebra tiles to make things as simple as possible. When things are complicated, they're often tough to compare. But if we can simplify some of those things, if we can reduce the complexity, we can make them much, much easier to compare. So we're going to review those strategies. We're going to check out some of those tips and tricks that make it easier. We're then going to try to answer that question, can we always tell if things are comparable? So let's get right to it. We're going to start with A59. And in A59 today, we've got some algebra tile mats that have been pre-built for us. And we're to write an expression and then make that comparison. Again, using only those legal simplification moves. And I'm going to start you out with A. So if I zoom in right here on letter A looks like this. And again, this is A59. This is letter A. And I'm going to start with the left-hand side for no reason other than it's on the left. We've got up top an X. We've got a negative X. We've got a -1 and another -1. Down below things are being subtracted. We've got a -1, that's this one, and we've got a -1, that's this one. And looking at it like that, I'll admit, we wrote that left-hand side symbolically and algebraically, but oh man, that doesn't look very simple. It looks a little complex. Let's move on to the right and see if we can learn anything. All right, just going to zoom in over here on the right-hand side. I'm going to grab a different color so it's very clear what I'm doing. Up top, I've got an X, I've got a -X, and a positive X. Oops, that doesn't look like an X. There we go. That's better. I still need to address those things on the bottom, though. Down below, I'm taking away a positive X, so I'm taking away an X. That's that. And I'm taking away a -1. That's that thing right there. Okay? I've got the left-hand side and the right-hand side represented, but critics are going to say, hey, Mr. Anderson, you still don't have real evidence, or at least simple evidence of which one of those things is greater. So we're going to use some algebra tiles and those legal moves. I went ahead and built this thing ahead of time. If you need to, please, please, please pause the video. And here's my build of A59 letter A. And the legal moves are as follows. I'm just going to take these things and I'm going to drag them up and I'm going to flip my signs. And I'm kind of like organizing things so they are together. And the point of doing that is to, you know, kind of just be organized. Then I'm going to take, and over on the right-hand side, I'm going to drag things up and I'm going to flip those signs. That's our first legal move. We bring it across. It's like subtracting a negative or adding the opposite. We're just rewriting that. And check this out. Second legal move, we're going to take those zero pairs and we're going to get rid of them. Did it on the left. Now I'm going to do it on the right. Got another zero pair over here on the right. Okay, now we've greatly reduced the complexity. What do we have over here on the left? 1, 2, 3, 4. No more zero pairs. What do I have over here on the right? Just a 1. No more zero pairs. I don't even have anything that's the exact same on the left and the right. So my legal moves are pretty much exhausted. That left, -4, that's as simple as it gets. That right, +1, that's as simple as it gets. Now it's pretty easy to see which one is the greater side. But before we go ahead and assign that symbol, let's look at why that happens. I've got a positive X and a negative X. There's the zero pair. They cancel. No zero pairs left over here on the right. Those are just like terms that get combined. Right? Check that in your calculator if you need to. It's nice because those are numbers, and your calculator accepts numbers. -1 and take away 1, take away another one, take away a fourth one, we've got -4. On the right, I've got X minus X. There's a zero pair, and we saw that. Another X, take away X, another zero pair. We saw that. Now this move maybe was less evident I've got a -1 and I'm taking away that -1. That's the bringing up from top to bottom and flipping that sign. When you subtract a negative, it's the same thing as adding. Okay? And that's why that turns into a +1. Remember, folks, the inequality opens toward the larger value. So in this case, 1 is larger than -4. Probably pretty obvious to you. 1's positive, 4 in this case is negative. Positive numbers are always bigger than negative numbers. All right? How'd you do? Do a little self-assessing there. If you need to pause, back up and rewatch, go ahead. The next one we're going to move on to is letter C. And I would ask that you, we'll approach this one the same way, but I would ask that you build this one with me. I've already got it built, but I would ask that you build this one with me. And pause the video if you need. All right, but in letter C, we'll start the same way. We'll start by writing what we have. This one, you can see there are quite a few tiles, so the writing might get a little claustrophobic. Let's try though. I've got up top, I've got a Y. I'm going to go a little faster this time. So like I said, if you need to, pause the video, back it up, rewatch, whatever it is you need. Y and 1, those are those two positives. And then I've got a -1, a -1, and a -1, right? All those, the entire top is handled. I've accounted for all of those things. Notice what I did there. I crossed those things out as I was writing them. But then, and here's where I've got to pay attention to that sign down below, I'm taking away a 1. I'm taking away another 1. Now I'm taking away a -1. And I'm taking away a Y and another Y. Like I said, this is going to get a little claustrophobic, so maybe to enhance our visualization and our understanding, I'll do the right in a different color. Okay, but look at how not so fun that left-hand side looks. Don't worry, the algebra tiles are going to help us here in just a moment. Okay, but let's tackle the right. And as promised, I will use a different color for this one. And the right, I'll start with the top, is a -Y. A -1, a -1, there's those 3 tiles. And then it's a +1. Okay? All 4 of those things are present and accounted for. Now let's address the bottom. On the bottom, take away a 1, take away another 1, take away a -1, take away a 1, take away a 1, and take away a -1. And as I mentioned already, folks, this may not be the most helpful thing, which is why we're going to use some algebra tiles. As mentioned, I've already got this thing built. If you didn't build it already, pause and try to build this and go through these moves with me. Okay? We'll start the way that we always do, by dragging tiles across and creating the opposites. Okay? And you might see I've got a little strategy going on here. I'm trying to set things up so they're by some things that they might align with, right? Like creating some of those 0 pairs. So we'll see what happens. Some of you guys might catch on to my strategy right away. Sorry about that. Okay, now check this out. I've done the first move appropriately. I've dragged things up. We've changed the sign. And now, folks, let's go ahead and do some 0 pair canceling. I'm going to get rid of this 0 pair right here. I'm going to declutter this space. I've got a 0 pair right here I'm going to get rid of. I've got another 0 pair. And I've got one more. They're gone. Over here on the right, I've got a 0 pair. Over here, a 0 pair. Oh, great. One more 0 pair. Okay. Now we've got to remember a move that maybe we haven't used in a bit. And that is, if we've got 2 things on the opposite sides, one on the left, one on the right, that are the exact same, I can get rid of them. That works for this too, right? Exact same, one on the right, one on the left, get rid of them. Okay, one more time, one on the right and one on the left. And golly gee, look at how nice this one's simplified. What do I have over here on the left? got a 0. What do I have over here on the right? I've got a -1. So let's go back and revisit our notes here. Over here, on the left-hand side, I've got a 0. Over here on the right, I've got a -1. And which one is bigger, ladies and gents? 0 is bigger than -1. Okay? Don't believe me? Check it out on the number line. The 0 is further to the right on the number line than the -1. Okay, we're going to go and investigate the next problem. We're going to investigate A-60, and we're going to try this one. This one may go a little quicker for you because this one has a build already in your notes. So I'm going to take full advantage of that. I hope you do as well. But check it out. Using the algebra tiles, build the expression and simplify the expression using those legal moves. We kind of just revisited all of them. And then can you tell which is greater? And here's what I'm going to have you do in letter B here in a moment. I'm going to have you write your answer and your expression. And hopefully that'll help with some of this understanding. So here we go. For this problem, we've got that build, as I mentioned, already here. I really like it when CPM does this. It really saves the user a lot of time. So let's go ahead and start by dragging everything up and making those things opposite. And boy, there's a lot of tiles to move over here on the right, but trust me, it's manageable. Now it's time to eliminate 0 pairs. Get gone. Okay, I've got another 0 pair here. Those can go. And there's one more thing that I can do. I can take this and that right here because they both are the exact same on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. Ta-da! Huh, okay. Now here we go. Over here, I've got 2x and I've got 2. Over here, I've got -8. Okay, I'm sorry, I said over here on the left I've got 2x. I should have said 2x and -2. Over here, I've got -8. Which one of these is bigger? All right? We definitely used all of our legal moves, and you know what? I'm sorry. I didn't. I can cancel 2 more things. Let me get rid of these. I've got 2 of these things on the left, 2 of these things on the right. Haha, there we go. Over here, I've just got 2x. There we go. Looking much better now. Over here on the right, I've got -6. But now which one's bigger? And the reality is, I'm not sure. Because the answer lies in, well, how big is x, Anderson? If x is 5, the left-hand side's bigger. If x is -5, well then the right-hand side is bigger. And we don't know that, unfortunately. Okay? So here's what I'm going to ask you guys to do. I'm going to ask you guys, and these are for your notes, for part B, can you tell which expression is greater? And like I just said, that kind of depends on what x is. All right, how big is x? And I don't know. I can't tell you. We're not solving. We're not quite there yet. We're just asked which one is bigger. So can we always tell which one is greater? And I don't think so. In this particular case, we're definitely not able to. Our answer would be contingent on what x is. All right? Explain as best you can to make that sensible and reviewable for you in your notes. We've got one other thing in our notes, and there's a YouTube video if you guys want to check this out. I've pulled it up, I've copied it here. It's also right here in your ebook, right below A60. Students ask, hey Anderson, does this have to go in my notes? This is a pretty good thing to go in your notes. All right, there's an additional YouTube video that is just going to be talking about some of those important legal moves. Check that out. Enhance your own understanding. It's not a lengthy video, and it's a video, so you can pause and rewatch as much as you need. The review preview for A.1.6 is 61, 63, 64, and 66. And with 63, folks, it does say to do it without a calculator, but I want you using a calculator because I want us to hone and sharpen those calculator skills. All right, so please use a calculator. If you need one, please reach out to your math teacher. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.